Are you tired of trying to speak English but still feel nervous, stuck, or unsure of the right words? You're not alone. Many English learners feel this way, even after months of practice. But what if there was a better, more natural way to improve your fluency? What if you could learn to speak English confidently, just by listening to simple stories? In this video, I'll show you how storytelling can completely change the way you learn English. This is not about boring grammar rules or difficult textbooks. This is about real English, spoken from the heart, full of emotion, rhythm, and real-life meaning. You'll discover how stories can help you remember vocabulary faster, speak more smoothly, and connect with people in English like never before. Whether you're a beginner or someone who understands but struggles to speak, this method can work for you. Get ready to fall in love with English again, because once you hear how simple stories can change your English, you'll never want to learn any other way. So, if you're ready to speak English with more confidence, more ease, and more power, let's begin this journey together. Chapter 1. Why Storytelling Matters. You may ask, Jay, why are stories so important? I just want to speak English better. And I understand you, I really do. But I want to show you something. Storytelling can help you speak better. Storytelling can help you remember more words. Storytelling can help you feel more confident. And storytelling can help you fall in love with English. Let's go step by step. First, stories make learning fun and interesting. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever read a grammar book and felt bored? Have you ever memorized vocabulary and then forgot it the next day? You are not alone. Many English learners feel the same. Studying this way can feel dry and hard. It feels like work. And when something feels like work, it is hard to keep going. But now imagine this. You are listening to a short story. The story is simple. It is about a boy who wants to learn English. He tries every day. He makes mistakes. He feels shy, but he never gives up. As you listen, you feel something. You feel emotion. You feel his pain. You feel his courage. And now, you are learning. You are learning new words. You are learning how sentences are made. You are learning the rhythm of English. But it doesn't feel like work. It feels fun. It feels like a movie. It feels like real life. That is why stories are powerful. They keep you interested. They keep you excited. They make you want to keep going. You want to know what happens next. So you keep listening. And without trying too hard, you learn English. Second, stories give you real and natural language. Think about this. When you read a grammar rule, it tells you how English works. But when you hear a story, you see how English works. For example, maybe you read a rule like this. Use the past tense to talk about finished actions. Okay, but how do you remember that? Now listen to this story. Yesterday I woke up late. I ran to the bus stop, but I missed the bus. I felt sad, but then I smiled and said, "It's okay. I'll try again tomorrow." What do you notice? You hear real English. You hear past tense verbs like woke, ran, missed, felt, and said. Now the grammar is not just in your head. It is in your ears. It is in your heart. You didn't just study grammar, you experienced it. That is the magic of storytelling. Stories give you context. Context means you understand the situation. You see the picture in your mind. You feel the meaning. You don't learn English like a robot. You learn English like a human being. And when English feels real, it becomes easier to remember. You don't have to memorize long word lists. You don't have to think too much. You just listen to the story. You feel the words, and you understand naturally. Third, stories help you connect with people. I want to tell you something personal. When I first started speaking English, I was very shy. I didn't want to speak in front of people. I thought, what if they laugh at me? What if I say something wrong? Maybe you feel that way too. But one day I told a short story. It was a true story from my life. I talked about my first job. I talked about how I failed and how I learned. And something amazing happened. People didn't laugh. People listened. People smiled. Some people even cried. Why? Because it was a story. It was real. It was human. My English was not perfect, but my connection was strong. That is the power of storytelling. When you tell a story, people do not care about grammar. They care about your message. When you tell a story, people don't count your mistakes. They feel your emotion. Stories help you speak with feeling. They help people remember your words. They help people trust you. If you want to become a strong speaker, learn to share stories, even small stories, like a memory from your childhood, a moment when you felt proud, a mistake you made, a lesson you learned. Every story is a gift. Every story has power. You don't need big words. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be honest. That's all. Let me show you a very simple example. Just listen to this small story. One day, I lost my phone. I looked everywhere. I looked under the bed. I looked in my bag. I asked my mom. I was scared. But then, I laughed. It was in my pocket. What did you learn from this short story? You learned real verbs. Lost, looked, asked, was, laughed. You learned phrases, under the bed, in my bag, in my pocket. You learned emotion, scared, laughed. And you probably smiled or laughed too. Why? Because it felt real and funny. And because of that feeling, you remember the words. This is how we learn. This is how we grow. One story at a time, one moment at a time. Now, what can you do to use storytelling in your English practice? Here are some simple steps. First, listen to short stories every day. Use YouTube. Use audiobooks. Use English podcasts. Choose stories that match your level. Second, repeat the stories out loud. Copy the rhythm. Copy the feeling. Use your voice. Third, write your own stories. Start small. Write about your day. Write about something you remember. Use easy words. Write like you speak. And fourth, share your stories. Tell a story in your English class. Tell a story to your language partner. Even tell a story to yourself. Speak it out loud. You will feel your English getting stronger. You will feel your words coming faster. You will feel more free. Not because you studied more, but because you felt more. That's the power of storytelling. My friend, I want to remind you, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know every word. You don't need to speak like a native speaker. You just need to speak like you, with honesty, with feeling, with stories. Your story is your strength. Your story is your English. So don't be afraid. Start small, start today, and let your story grow, because every word you speak is a step forward, and I'll be here, walking with you. Chapter 2. Building Your Storyteller Toolbox. Now, I'm going to help you build your storyteller toolbox. Just like a builder needs tools to build a house, a speaker needs tools to build a great story. Let's open your storyteller toolbox. Inside, you will find 3 powerful tools. The first tool is your vocabulary: vivid verbs, descriptive adjectives, and emotional adverbs. The second tool is your story structure, learning how to create a beginning, a middle, and an ending. The third tool is your style, using different kinds of stories like real memories, small moments, and even creative fiction. Let's start with your first tool, vocabulary. Many learners try to use big, difficult words, but they forget the most important thing: feeling. A great story is not about big words. It's about the right words. It's about choosing words that create a picture in the mind. Let's begin with verbs. Verbs are action words like run, walk, eat, laugh, cry. But to become a better storyteller, you can learn vivid verbs, verbs that show more emotion or detail. Instead of walk, you can say march, stroll, sneak, or wander. Each verb has a feeling. March feels strong. Stroll feels relaxed. Sneak feels secret. Wander feels lost or thoughtful. One small word can change the mood of your story. Now let's talk about adjectives. Adjectives describe nouns. For example, instead of a house, you can say a small, warm house. Instead of a girl, you can say a quiet, kind girl. When you use the right adjectives, your listener can see the story in their mind. They can feel it. They don't just hear the words, they live the moment with you. And finally, let's talk about adverbs. Adverbs describe how something happens. They answer the question, how? He ran quickly. She spoke softly. They laughed loudly. A simple adverb adds color to your sentence. It adds music. It adds feeling. So when you build your vocabulary toolbox, don't just collect words. Collect feelings. Collect images. Collect moments. That's the first step to becoming a great storyteller. Now let's move to the second tool in your box: structure. Many learners tell stories like this. Yesterday I went to school, then I went home, then I ate dinner, then I slept. That's okay, but it's not a story. It's a list. A real story has shape. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, just like a movie or a book. So how do you build a story with shape? The beginning of your story sets the scene. You tell who you are, where you are, and what is happening. The middle of your story is the problem or emotion. Something happens. Something changes. Maybe you feel scared. Maybe you feel happy. Maybe something goes wrong. That's the middle. And the end of your story is the result. What did you learn? What changed? What did you feel? Let me give you an example. Listen to this short story. One day, I missed the bus. I was late for school. I ran and ran. My heart was beating fast. When I arrived, the door was closed. I knocked. My teacher opened the door. She smiled. She said, "You're here. That's what matters." I smiled back. That day, I learned that small things don't need big fear. See, it's a simple story, but it has a clear beginning. I missed the bus. It has a middle. I was scared and ran fast. And it has an ending. My teacher was kind, and I learned something. That's the structure you want. Beginning, middle, end. It doesn't need to be long. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to feel real. Now let's open your third tool, storytelling style. What kind of stories can you tell? Many people think they must be creative or dramatic. But the truth is, your life already has many stories. You just have to find them. The first type is a personal anecdote. This is a small memory, a moment from your day, a funny or emotional experience. For example, the first time I cooked alone, I burned the rice. My mom laughed. Then she helped me learn. Now I make the best rice in the family. It's small, it's real, it's powerful. The second type is a daily story. What happened today? What did you see on your way to work? What did your child say? What made you laugh or feel tired or happy? These stories are fresh. They are full of real English. The third type is fiction. You can create a story from your imagination. You can make a character. You can create a place. You can create a problem and solve it. This helps you use your words in fun, creative ways. For example, there was a dog who wanted to fly. Every day he looked at the sky. One day he found a red balloon. You see, real or imaginary, stories help you grow. They give you freedom. They give you emotion. They give you voice. So now you have 3 tools in your storyteller toolbox. 1, vocabulary. 2, structure. 3, style. And now the question is, how do you practice? You don't need hours. You just need a few minutes a day. Here are some simple ways to use your toolbox every day. First, write a short story in English, just 5 lines. Use 1 vivid verb, 1 descriptive adjective, and 1 adverb. Second, record yourself telling a small story. Listen back. Don't worry about mistakes. Listen to your voice. Feel your words. Third, share a story with someone. It can be a friend, a teacher, or even me in the comments. When you share a story, you grow your voice. You become brave. My dear friend, you do not need to be perfect. You do not need to know every word. You do not need a big vocabulary to begin. You just need to begin. Use what you have. Speak from your heart. And step by step, your toolbox will grow. Your words will become stronger. Your voice will become clearer. Your English will become alive. So today, I invite you to start building. 1 word, 1 feeling, 1 small story at a time. And remember, I'm with you, and I believe in you. Your voice matters, your story matters, and your journey matters. Chapter 3: Crafting Compelling Narratives. Now that you have your storytelling toolbox in your hand, it's time to start building. You have your verbs, your adjectives, your adverbs. You know how to make a beginning, middle, and ending. You know the types of stories you can tell, real, daily, or imaginary. Now comes the next step. How do you craft a compelling story? How do you make your listener stay, feel, and remember? To create a strong story, you need to think about the heart of it. And the heart begins with one simple thing: a hook. A hook is how you start your story. It pulls your listener in. It makes them say, "Wait, I want to know more." A good hook can be a question. It can be a surprising sentence. It can be a strange image, or it can be a deep feeling. It doesn't need to be long. It just needs to open the door. For example, instead of starting with, "Last Saturday I went shopping," you can say, "I didn't know that one small apple could change my day." Or instead of saying, "I went for a walk," try, "The street was quiet, but my heart was loud." These hooks are simple, but they create questions. The listener wants to know, what happened with the apple? Why is your heart loud? So they keep listening. And that is the job of the hook. Once you have your hook, your next step is to build a world that feels real. And for that, you need characters and settings. A character is the person in your story. It can be you. It can be your friend. It can be your grandma. It can be someone you imagine. What matters is that your listener can feel the character. They understand them. They care about them. To create a good character, think about small details. Don't just say, "My brother." Say, "My brother, who always wears a red jacket and walks like he's dancing." That one line tells a story. Your listener now sees your brother. They remember him. The character becomes real. The same goes for your settings. Don't just say, "We were in the kitchen." Say, "We were in the small kitchen where the window always smells like warm bread." This line helps your listener picture the place. They feel like they're there with you. That's what you want. You want your story to feel alive. Now your hook has pulled the listener in. Your characters and settings have made them care. What's next? Tension. Tension means the feeling of what will happen next. It is the question that keeps the listener curious. It is the little feeling inside that says, "I need to know." You don't need a big problem to create tension. Even a small moment can hold suspense. Let's take a simple example. I looked at my phone. One message. I knew it would change everything. But I waited. I didn't open it. That small moment creates a feeling. What is the message? Why did you wait? What happened next? This is tension. It holds the story together like a thread. It doesn't let the listener walk away. To build good tension, use your words slowly. Use rhythm. Use silence. Say things like, "I opened the door and saw," then pause. Let the listener wait. Let them wonder, then continue. This slow rhythm creates emotion. It makes the story feel bigger, even if the moment is small. Another way to build tension is with emotion. When your character feels something strong, fear, joy, sadness, the listener feels it too. If you say, "I was so scared I couldn't move," your listener holds their breath with you. If you say, "I was so happy I cried," Your listener smiles with you. Stories are not just about events, they are about feelings. So don't be afraid to share how you felt. That is what brings people close. Let's try putting all these parts together. Hook, character, setting, tension. Here's a short example. I didn't expect anything special that morning, just tea, toast, and another normal day. But when I opened the mailbox, there it was, a small letter with no name. My hands started shaking. I looked around. Who sent it? Why? My heart started racing. I opened it slowly and read the first line. I'm sorry. What do you feel when you hear that? Curiosity, tension, emotion, and most of all, connection. Because we've all had moments like that, moments when something small felt big. That's the beauty of storytelling. It takes the small moments and makes them meaningful. Now, let's practice making your own story. Start with a simple hook, maybe something like, I never thought I'd lose my favorite shoe. Funny, right? But your listener wants to know more. Who loses one shoe? What happened? Then build your character. Maybe it's you, rushing to the bus, or your little brother playing in the mud. Then create a setting, a busy street, a rainy day, a cold hallway. Now, build your tension. I looked everywhere, under the bed, in the closet, in the kitchen, but it was gone. My favorite shoe, gone forever. And finally, give your story an ending. 3 days later, my dog barked at the sofa. I looked under it, and there it was, wet, chewed, but still mine. This kind of story is simple, but it's full of life, full of emotion, full of movement, and it helps you use English in a real and personal way. As you practice, don't worry if your stories are short. Don't worry if you make mistakes. In fact, mistakes are part of the story. The more you speak, the stronger your voice becomes. The more you share, the more you grow. And remember, your story matters. Your voice matters. No one else has lived your life. No one else sees the world the way you do. So when you speak English, don't just speak with words. Speak with feeling. Speak with story. Today, you learned how to create a hook. You learned how to make characters and settings that feel real. You learned how to build tension to keep your listener interested. These are powerful tools. These are skills you can use every day, in class, at work, in conversations, or even when talking to yourself. Next time you speak English, try telling a story, even a small one, maybe about your day, maybe about your past, maybe something from your imagination. Use the hook, build the feeling, speak from your heart, and let your story do the magic. Because when you craft a compelling narrative, you don't just speak English, you connect with people. And that, my friend, is the most powerful skill of all. Keep practicing, keep telling your truth, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Chapter 4: Bringing Stories to Life. Now that you've learned how to build strong stories, it's time to bring them to life. A story on paper is just words, but when you speak it, when you perform it, it becomes alive. Your voice, your face, your hands, your whole body can add meaning to every word. This is where storytelling becomes more than English practice. It becomes art. It becomes connection. Let's begin with your voice. Your voice is powerful. You don't need a perfect accent. You don't need to speak fast. What you need is intonation. That means the way your voice goes up and down, soft or loud, fast or slow. It shows your feelings. It shows if you are happy, sad, surprised, or excited. Let's say you're telling a story about a scary moment. You can slow your voice down, make it quiet. I heard a sound, and then everything went silent. Now, if you're telling a funny story, your voice can go faster, louder. And then he fell right into the cake. See the difference? The words are simple, but how you say them makes people feel something. That is the magic of intonation. Next, let's talk about your face. Your face tells a story even before your words do. A smile can make your story feel warm. A raised eyebrow can show surprise. A sad look in your eyes can bring emotion. You don't need to act like a movie star. Just let your face match your words. If you say, "I was so happy that day," but your face looks bored, people won't believe your story. But if you say the same line with a bright smile and shining eyes, it feels real. So, practice in the mirror, say a line, watch your face, ask, "Does my face match my feelings?" This small habit will make your English storytelling much more powerful. Now, let's add gestures and body language. These are the movements you make with your hands, arms, and even your posture. They can make your words stronger. If you say, "The mountain was this big," and you spread your arms wide, people can picture it better. If you tell a story about being nervous, you can rub your hands or shift your feet. These small movements show what your words mean. And remember, in English-speaking cultures, gestures are important. We use them naturally when we talk, so you should practice using them too. But don't worry, you don't need to move too much, just enough to give life to your words. So how do you get better at all of this? Here's a simple, powerful idea. Record yourself. Use your phone, tell your story, watch it, listen to it. This might feel strange at first, but it helps a lot. You will see your intonation. You will see your face. You will see your hands. And then you can ask, "Do I sound clear? Do I look natural? Do I feel connected to my story?" You can fix small things. Maybe you speak too fast. Maybe your face is too still. You can try again and get better each time. This is how real improvement happens. Try this exercise. Choose a short story, maybe just 1 minute. Practice it with your voice, your face, and your hands. Record it. Watch it. Then do it again, but this time, add more feeling. Make your voice show more emotion. Make your face tell the story. Make your body support your words. You will be amazed at the difference. When you do this many times, your confidence grows. Your English becomes more natural. You are not just learning English, you are becoming a storyteller. And here's something special. When you bring your stories to life, people listen. They feel close to you. They don't just hear your English, they feel your heart. This is how we connect as human beings. People may forget your grammar. They may forget your words, but they will remember how you made them feel. That's why bringing stories to life is so powerful. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. Many English learners ask, "How can I speak more fluently?" My answer is, speak with your whole self. Use your voice. Use your face. Use your hands. Use your heart. When you do this, fluency follows. When you speak with emotion, words come faster. When you use gestures, you feel more confident. When your face shows feeling, people understand you better, even if your words are simple. This is the secret many people miss. Also, remember that storytelling is not just for fun. It trains your brain. It helps you think in English. When you bring a story to life, you are practicing English like native speakers do. You are not just translating. You are feeling the language. You are expressing ideas. You are building fluency through action. Let's take another simple example. Imagine you are telling a story about your childhood. You can say, "I was a little boy. I loved the rain. One day I went outside. I danced in the rain. I laughed. I played. I fell in the mud." Now, bring it to life. Smile when you say you laughed. Move your hands when you say you danced. Look surprised when you say you fell. Suddenly, the story becomes alive. Your listener can see it, feel it. This is what makes you a great communicator. So, here is your homework. Pick one story from your life. Something simple, something real. Maybe about school, your first job, or a funny moment. Write it out. Then practice it. Add intonation. Add facial expressions. Add gestures. Then record it. Watch it. Improve it. Do this once a week. In a few weeks, you will feel the change. You will speak with more feeling, more ease, more confidence. And the best part, you will enjoy it. Because storytelling is not just learning. It is fun. It is freedom. Remember, you don't need a big stage. You don't need an audience of 100 people. You can practice storytelling anywhere. In your room, with a friend, in front of a mirror, on a video call. Every small moment counts. Every time you bring a story to life, you are one step closer to real English fluency. So keep going. Keep telling stories. Keep using your voice, your face, your hands, your heart. This is your time to shine, not just as an English speaker, but as a real storyteller. Chapter 5. Mastering English Fluency Through Storytelling. Storytelling is not just for entertainment. It is a powerful tool for mastering English fluency. When you tell a story, you use many different parts of the language all at once. You use vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and emotion. And because stories are about real or imaginary people and events, they naturally help you speak with more feeling and expression. This emotional connection is very important. It helps your brain remember words and sentences more easily. You are not just studying English, you are living it through your words. When you tell a story in English, your fluency starts to grow. You begin to think in English. You start to feel the rhythm of the language. Instead of stopping to translate in your mind, you begin to speak more smoothly, more freely. This is because storytelling teaches you to connect ideas. You are not just saying single words or short phrases, you are building sentences. You are painting pictures with your words. And that is how native speakers speak. That is how you become more natural and more confident in English. Fluency is not only about speed, it is about flow. And storytelling is one of the best ways to find your flow in English. When you tell a story, you learn to move from one idea to the next. You learn to keep the listener interested. You also learn how to pause, how to emphasize, how to create rhythm with your voice. All of these things help your English sound more alive, more human. They help your listeners feel connected to you. Pronunciation also improves with storytelling. As you practice telling stories, you become more aware of how words sound. You start to hear the small sounds in English. You begin to feel the music of the language, the rising and falling tones, the stress on important words, the soft endings. You learn where to pause and where to breathe. You learn how to use your voice to express emotion. These are all parts of good pronunciation, and they all become stronger with storytelling practice. Confidence is another gift of storytelling. In the beginning, it may feel scary to tell a story in English. You might be afraid of making mistakes, but that's okay. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to connect, to express, to practice. And the more you tell stories, the easier it becomes. You will begin to enjoy the process. You will start to see how much you already know. You will stop worrying so much about grammar and begin focusing on communication. This is when real confidence begins to grow. Try to make storytelling a part of your daily English practice. You don't need to write long stories or use difficult words. Just start small. Think about something that happened to you today. Tell that story in English. Talk about what you saw, what you felt, what you did. Use simple language. Use short sentences, but say it out loud and try to make it interesting. This will help you remember vocabulary. It will help you practice sentence structure, and it will help you speak more naturally. You can also retell stories that you already know. Think of a short story from your childhood, or a folk tale, or a movie you watched. Practice telling that story in English. Change the words. Add your own style. Make it your own. This is a fun way to build your fluency and creativity at the same time. If you want to take it one step further, join a storytelling group or start one with friends. Meet once a week. Share a short story in English. Listen to each other. Give simple feedback. Celebrate the effort, not just the result. This kind of practice can change everything. It creates a safe space to speak, to listen, and to grow. You can also record yourself. Pick a story, practice it a few times, then record it. Listen to your voice. Notice how you sound. Do you pause at the right times? Do you use emotion in your voice? Can you understand yourself clearly? This kind of reflection can help you improve very quickly. It shows you what you are doing well and where you can grow. Don't worry about being perfect. Storytelling is not about perfection. It's about connection. And every time you tell a story in English, you are building that connection with yourself, with the language, and with your audience. You are learning to trust your voice. You are learning to be brave. And that is the real power of storytelling. Even if your vocabulary is small, you can still tell stories. You can use simple words. You can use body language, gestures, and your voice to add feeling. This makes your storytelling even stronger. English is not only about big words, it's about how you use them, and stories help you use them with heart. Try this. Choose 3 simple words like rain, bus, and shoes. Now make a short story using those words. Don't worry if it sounds silly. Just speak. Create a picture in your mind. Say it out loud. This is how you grow your fluency, one simple story at a time. The more you tell stories, the more you will enjoy speaking English. It becomes something you look forward to, not something you fear. You begin to feel the language in your body. You begin to trust your thoughts, and you begin to see English as a tool for life, not just a subject to study. So use stories. Use them to talk about your day. Use them to explain your past. Use them to share your dreams. Use them to make someone laugh, or cry, or feel inspired. This is the heart of language. And when you learn through stories, you are learning to live in English. Storytelling also makes you a better listener. When you hear others tell stories, you begin to understand the flow of natural speech. You learn new expressions, idioms, and sentence patterns. You also learn how to respond. You learn how to ask questions, show interest, and connect with the speaker. All of these skills are part of fluency, and all of them grow through storytelling. So remember, storytelling is not just something you do after you become fluent. It is how you become fluent. It is a path, not a prize. Every time you tell a story, you take one more step. You grow your voice. You grow your courage. You grow your English. You don't need to wait. You don't need to be perfect. Just start. One story, one sentence, one smile. That's all it takes. Your English journey can be full of joy and confidence if you let stories lead the way. So take a deep breath, think of a moment, and share it in English. Your voice matters. Your story matters. And with every word you speak, your English becomes more powerful. Let storytelling guide you toward the fluency you've always wanted.